What up, YouTube? It's your boy DanDarylmon from B4G. I kind of been working on this list for a while. I played it in BT-11, and now I'm still trying to make it work this set. Mainly because I like to play purple, but Beelzemon is just so good that I just rather play something else that's more diverse. And I hate mirror matches. So I've been really trying to make the Mervamon deck work. So this is kind of my take on it. I've been having some really good success with it, believe it or not. It really keeps up with Beelzemon. It kind of walls it a little bit because he can't swing into your retaliation. We'll get to that. I've had good matches against hunters. Really the thing that's been bothering me or like kind of difficult for me is still Black War Greymon. But yeah, so just going into the list, I play 3 Gabumon. The reason I play 3 is because it's just good. I mean, the draw 1, trash 1, it lets you see through your deck, but I couldn't fit 4. This deck is really tight on space, and you guys will see. I'm playing 3 of the Ignitemon, just so that I can gain the memory when I play a card by effect, and then also off the Merva cross. I'm playing 3 Gazi. This is really to fight against Beelzemon. Beelzemon does kill 3s very easily, but this deck puts cards back on the board very easily, so even though they're popping them, it just forces them to make really awkward plays to continue to pop them. And then I'm playing 2 Psychmon. This slot, you can kind of change around to kind of plus some of these up or maybe play something else that you think is a little bit better. Psychmon, I put him in there for hunters, but he's actually never come up. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe he can come out for something else. I don't know what it would be yet. So that's it for my rookies. For my level 4s, obviously I'm playing 3 Eismon. It's just really good to get through your deck and get through your pieces. I'm running 1 of the Eismon, so 3 scatter mode, 1 Eismon. I like this package. Eismon doesn't come up that often, but when it does, it's just such good value. In this deck, you get through your deck very quickly, almost as fast as Beelzemon, so you'll see him for sure. You just have to be mindful of how you're drawing and trashing. I'm playing 4 Dark Lizardmon. He's just the ideal target for your Mervamon. You put 2 blockers on the board. He has draw 1, trash 1, and he has retaliation. Basically, you just keep putting him on the board as much as you possibly can so that if your opponent swings, they have to lose their card because Merva will give them blocker and then they have retaliation. So, and the draw 1, trash 1 definitely does help. It can punish your opponent into playing an Eismon or just doing all kinds of shit and putting things in the trash. That's where usually what happens. I put something in the trash that I needed there, and then you just suffer as a result. I'm playing 1 Devimon. This is because he's just Devimon blocker. It's because if Merva dies, you don't have a blocker on board. So sometimes if I drop Merva and I know my opponent has the ability, like Black War Greymon can de-digivolve or hunters can pop. Like, if I know that they have the ability to pop a level 6, then I will put the Devimon and a Dark Lizardmon down so that if they do kill Mervamon, I still have a blocker. And then I play 1 Kinkaku. Honestly, she's to kill floodgates when people try to do it to you, but in this meta, it doesn't really seem like people do that often. So I'm actually considering taking her out for a, maybe another Devi or Kinkaku or Ginkaku. Just to have another rusher without Merva. So my level 4s. My level 5s, this is where things get a little spicy. So I'll start off first with Beelzemon. Beelzemon doesn't have that many targets this set, but there's a few interactions where people will kill Minerva thinking you'll play the Merva and you play the Beelzemon and kill their stack. It's kind of funny. But besides that, he doesn't really do much. He's just kind of a threat. Sometimes when people see him in your trash, they just won't kill Minerva because they're afraid of what you'll do with him. So it's kind of more of a deterrent than an actual card that I play. I play 3 blue Miramon. I know a lot of people expect you to play the loop, but what I find is this package is actually faster than Cerberus, Werewolf Mode, and base Cerberusmon. The draw 2, trash 2 is super relevant because you put the cards in the trash that you want. And then if he is, because of his inheritable, when you play a Digimon by effect, Mervamon will force your opponent into situations where if they hard play a Digimon, Minerva will play a Digimon and allow you to gain memory, which sometimes passes turn. I know there's been some instances in tournament where I had a Blue Miramon and a Ignitemon, and my opponent played a rookie trying to get a search, and Minervamon made him pass turn because I gained 2 memory off of that. All right, so these are 2 cards that I'm teching that are actually pretty good. First is Wisemon. I'm playing 2 Wisemon. Wisemon actually, talk about getting 1 card this set that gives you support. In BT-12, Wisemon is cracked. His on play is reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 purple or black Digimon card from your hand, and then place the rest of your bottom or top in any order. The way that I use him a lot of times is if I have the 3 memory and my opponent's going to go 3 anyway, I just hard play him. And then search my top 3 and then get what I need. And then if it's looking great, I put it at the top. If it's not looking good, I put it at the bottom. Or when Minerva dies, sometimes I'll play him and just play Minerva on top of him to make her a blocker because his inheritable is blocker. People really underestimate how good this card is. The deck in general really promotes the player that knows the value of each of his cards in their deck. So I think that's what makes this deck kind of difficult. And that's why Wisemon is so good. When you see the top 3 cards, you pick up 1, and then just based off of those 2 cards and knowing what's in your trash and knowing what's in your hand, you have to make a decision about whether you can lose those cards or not, or what order you need to gain those cards. And so he really lets you kind of make some important moves. And then this other card that used to be Lady Devimon, but now is Black War Growlmon. The reason is the level 5s, you really want them to be able to put cards in your trash. And with Black War Growlmon, with the Digiburst, you can put a lot of cards in your trash as if you have to stay in raising. Because there's a lot of cards this meta that pops 6K. So if you Digivolve in raising with Black War Growl, it gives you a position where you can push out, Digiburst, go into the Minerva, and then swing twice, which is crazy. Because if she lives on the first swing, it's just infinite value from there. You're grinding to the fences. And if she dies, that's okay because you get to play the Merva and then continue to swing from there. So because of him, he can technically get you 5 swings in 1 turn. So that's kind of crazy. All right, and that's it for my level 5s. Now for the 6s, the moment you came for, I'm playing 3 Minerva, 3 Merva, and 2 JetMerva. Yeah, okay, so this is based in science, I assure you. Minerva, she's just really good, and you need to see her as quickly as possible because she puts your opponent, especially in this meta, in positions where Beelzemon players, they can't hard play their Entmon for value. And hunters, they can't play their cards to get value. Dark Black War Grandma, they can't play because every time they play a card, you play a card. That's her opponent's turn effect. And then on deletion, if she dies and your opponent has 2 or less Digimon on board, you can play a level 5 or lower or a Mervamon. Why that's so good is because if she dies, like off the Black War Grandma, that's 2 swings. Then when the Mervamon hits the board, you can cross from your trash or your hand. And so once you cross, she lets you play 2 more bodies that have rush. So that's literally, if she dies on first swing, I mean, you're chilling because it's, 3 swings after that. Or if your opponent kills her on your turn, that's why I'm playing the Wisemon, because she can block and then you can play Merva after that, and then you'll have 3 blockers after that. So it kind of puts you in a position where you can play offensive or defensive with this lineup. Now, JetMerva, I think a lot of people said this card was bad, and I'd agree with you, but there are some situations where, especially in this meta, if people see you drop the Merva and you drop the 2 Digimon with a blocker that have retaliation, they're not gonna swing because they don't want to lose their bodies. And then you just punish them for that the next turn by Digivolving into JetMerva and then swing. And then when one of your bodies die, she unsuspends. So JetMerva, when we first read her, thought that she would be like a great answer for All Force because she stops your cards from being bounced. And so I tried and tried and tried to fit a Sparrowmon in order to get that ability on live. But if Sparrowmon just hurts the deck so bad when she's in it, even at a one of. So I didn't even try it. So really her first ability, you just ignore. Like you're never going to do that. But the all turns, once per turn, one of your Digimon is defeated. Defeated is deleted. Unsuspend this Digimon. Every time you're going to do that. And it's so good. And she has Armor Purge. So even if she dies by swinging into someone's stack, you get back into the Mervamon and you're fine. So it's not a problem there. Okay, now into my options. This is where things get kind of crazy, and people always tell me that my ratios are bad. And what I say is that you really have to know the value of your cards. Like they see your hand, the drawing and trash becomes like very difficult. So the more that you play this deck, the more you'll know like what's good. So I played 2 purple memory boosts. This is just consistency pieces, seeing the top cards of your deck. I played 2 Deathclaw. This is just another way to kill Mervamon if she doesn't die on swing, which actually happens more often than you think with hunters having a lot of tamers, with Impmon, being a bunch of Impmons. It's just a lot of low bodies this meta, so she lives a lot of the time, so you have to kill her on your own. 2 Jack Raid. Your trash will be crazy playing this deck, so really you want to save this to the end to make some really explosive turns, like maybe pushing yourself to 7 so you can hard play Merva from hand and then just swing out. That happens more than you think, so that's good. And then we get into a bunch of one-ups, and yeah, don't shoot the messenger. This is just what it comes down to be. I played Death Slinger at 1 because sometimes you want to be able to kill things, and that's the only reason it's there. And I also, to kill things, pay 1 Pandemonium Flame because it's really good to kill Minerva with Pandemonium Flame, kill their 6k that refuse to, or the level 6 who refuse to swing, and then you play the Merva. And when the Merva comes out, if you play it on top of an Ignite, you gain a memory. So Pandemonium Flame really is a 1 to kill, which is really good. I play 1 Back for Revenge. The reason is because if you have enough memory to Back for Revenge Minerva, swing Minerva, she dies, you play the Merva, then she'll come back because of Back for Revenge, and that will give you now 4 swings after she dies. So that would be 5 swings too. So if you did that with the Black War Growlmon, that's 6 swings and that's lethal. So that actually has happened before. It's because you draw so much, it's not crazy to see this card at 1 of, or any of these cards at 1 of. The only thing that sucks is when you hit it in security and it does nothing. And the only way you can get it back is a card I'm gonna show you in a second. And then I play 1 Calling from Darkness. Obviously, if you're playing purple, you need to play Calling for Darkness. It's the best card in purple. Honestly, it kills Minerva, grabs back 2 things, and then you play your things anyway. It's just so good. But this is also a card where you have to hold on to it, because when you use it, whatever cards you grab back, that's it. So you need to know, like literally like late game, what cards am I gonna need? So a lot of times when I pop this, I grab back 1 Minerva and maybe a Merva, because if I have to digivolve into a level 6, then Minerva's there, and then Merva in hand. After you have 1 or 2 Mervas in trash, having 1 in hand is not bad, because sometimes your opponent will use a big option to clear your board, and then you have the memory to drop the Merva for 7 or whatever, and then clean the board. So the last 2 cards of the deck. 1 Matt, because I like to start my turn at 3. I'm sorry, I just love it. And he's the only other way to get back one of these options from the trash. And sometimes it's stupid clutch. Like if you hit a Matt out of security and you're able to grab back Calling from Darkness, it's just so much value. Like I can't even like undersell how good Matt is. I know people have moved away from Matt, but I mean, he's still my boy, so I'm gonna play with him. And then I play 1 Analog Youth. Why? Because I only have 1 alt art, so like get off of me, but also because I don't like blind discard. So Analog Youth lets you see the top 3 of your cards. You grab 1 Digimon, but trash the rest. And like that one ability stresses me out, because I need to see that. I want the cards to hit my hand before they hit the trash, because it feels really bad when like that level 6, or you get like a level 6, a Merva, and like maybe another card you really needed to like digivolve, and or like a level 4 that you're like starved for. And you wanna obviously grab one of these, but you have to end up grabbing a level 4 and hope that you see another one. It just feels so bad. So like, but once you get the ball rolling and he puts things in your trash, and then like the Minerva dies, he'll give you the memory, you can hatch, like he can just extend your plays. But yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people play a lot of him, and that's probably why they struggle. I probably didn't go over this in the beginning, but obviously I play 4 JetMervamon. I don't know why you play something else. So don't like be mad at me that I didn't say that at the beginning. I just assume that if you're here and you're looking at a purple list, that you already knew I was going to play JetMervamon. So that's a list. So far, like I said, I've been doing really, really well into this meta. I know people, I think because Beelzemon's so good, like she's not even on people's radar, but I assure you this deck is way better than you think. And because people are so ready to play against Beelzemon, that if you present them with a board that looks like this, and it's funny because it's not that crazy of a board, but like if you present them with something like this where you have the Merva, the Dark Lizard, and Devi, technically you have 3 blockers on board, right? But like one of them has retail, and so they just don't know what to do, because if they swing, you're gonna kill whatever they're swinging because you have that option. And then like even if somehow they kill Dark Lizardmon or they kill Merva, you still can block. So they just sometimes just presenting something like this simple of a board is like stressful for people. And I think that's kind of the benefit to this deck, is that most people don't know what to do, especially when your level 5s is not the loop engine. Like they have no idea what to do. They just struggle. And like, I don't know. It's crazy. And literally for the first like 3-4 turns, they assume you're playing Beelstar, so that's even more of a benefit. Like you just kind of have the advantage the whole way through. It's just that your games can end up being really grindy because people are trying to play around what you're doing, and they're like overthinking it sometimes. And so there's a lot of games that I've played that I went to time against decks that I had no business going to time with. Like in the last tournament I went to time against Black War Greymon and Gallantmon. And Gallantmon should really sweep this fucking deck, but because you want things in the trash, but just having the Dark Lizardmon stop them from blitzing most of the game. So you know, it would just put them in lethal, because all you really have to do is chip them once, maybe twice, and then after that they're in lethal range almost at all times. And most decks don't play blockers right now. I don't know why, but they don't. So if you can chip them with the early game by, you know, chipping with your Eismons and your Dark Lizardmons to like get that initial draw ones and trash ones, a Minerva from raising really can just win you the game, because she swings once, then you kill her, play 3 more bodies, and just swing the rest of their security. And there's nothing they can do but sit there and be upset. And so sometimes they hit bombs, and like that's cool. And so that's another reason that like the Gazis come in hand, because if they hit like a maybe a X antibody or you know, a Jack Raid or whatever, you stop that from happening. So yeah, the only deck that's like tricky to play against is Beelzemon, because they can kill your stuff just by milling, and like that feels really bad, like really bad when that happens. So or they'll pass turn by milling. So you really want to, in that matchup, get Merva to play a Gazi and a Dark Lizardmon. Like every time you play Merva, you play a Gazi and you play a Dark Lizardmon, because you force your opponent to kill this. So what they end up doing is they use the warping Itmon to, you know, warp into their level 4 or their level 6, and they'll pop him off the mill, and then you block, so you kill what they just warped and still have a body. So yeah, that's the list. I hope you guys try it out. I think the next set is about to come out at the end of this month, so you don't have a lot of time. But so if you want to have fun, you don't want to play purple, you don't want to play Beelzemon, I say try it out. So that was DanDarylmon. I'll see y'all around.